I hope when the presidential candidates talk about cities, they stop thinking about us as basket cases and think more as the potential of cities to really turn this country around. We're in a competitive economy, a global economy, and now in cities, such as mine in Minneapolis, we speak 100 languages. Those young people we're raising are the key to our global competitiveness. Cities really are not just something of the past that should be supported. That's the old ideology. Cities, to me, are really about the future, where the next best part of our workforce is coming, where the best part of our new lifestyle is coming from. And I want the presidential candidates to acknowledge that they'll help cities because, frankly, we haven't had very good friends in the White House these past few years. Well, frankly, the federal government has become largely irrelevant to most of the most significant work that we're doing. Some of the best things we're doing in Minneapolis include the Minneapolis Promise, where we're investing in the next generation workforce by putting career centers in every high school, tied to summer jobs, tied to free college. All the federal tools we would have used for that have been cut back, so we've found local ways of doing that. When I think about safety on our streets, we've had to do as much as we could to put police officers on the street to replace the federal funds that were lost. When I think about the fact that the large programs that could be invested in to make my people more successful, I know that money is being frittered away in Iraq. Well, as a mayor, you would think that I would say that we should have an urban agenda, but what I'd rather have is for every presidential candidate to have an urban sensibility to everything they do. Too often, urban issues are isolated off on the side. You give 4 points that 5 different lobbyists say are the right thing to say to mayors. That's not the way it works. Urban America, to me, is really the future of America. And that's really why I think when a person talks about a new economic agenda, it should talk about empowering urban workers. When they talk about a sustainable environment, they should talk about helping cities become the sustainable center points of a green economy. Even when they're talking about issues of war and peace, they should talk about the fact that cities are really the statues of liberties of the 21st century. We welcome everyone, and we really are the key, I think, to opening up to the rest of the globe. So I hope we aren't isolated and literally ghettoized as cities, and instead are integrated into the full scope of what the future can be. It's been tough these past few years to be mayors as part of an America that hasn't wanted to reach its hand out to cities. And I think that's not just about a handout to those in need. That's about recognizing that cities are really incubating the future, and sooner or later Washington's going to wake up to that. And when they do, I think this whole country will be a lot better off. I think over these past few years, it's been especially hard to be a mayor of an urban center that welcomes its all citizens, because there have been so many messages of exclusion coming out of Washington. I was elected right after 9/11. Right after that, there were a lot of messages coming out of Washington that attacked immigrants, that attacked the gay and lesbian community. You can hardly go to a block in Minneapolis where there isn't a significant contribution from the gay and lesbian community. And you can go to streets that were moribund before large-scale immigration happened that are now totally revived because of that. My city is stronger because we had different values than the Washington values that have been pushed onto us. We welcomed people, and because of that, our city is stronger. But I clearly have supported Barack Obama, especially since I read his books. And I saw that he'd been on the ground on so many of these issues that we face, not from an office building or a Capitol building somewhere, but really going out into neighborhoods, understanding how communities work, and having a community building understanding. That's really what I want to have. We need a person in Washington who can be a top-down leader, but we need a person in Washington who understands that leadership often comes from the grassroots. I want a community organizer in the White House because I do that every single day. If all I did was sit in City Hall and sign little proclamations and pass ordinances, I wouldn't be at all connected with my city. I have to organize in my community. That's what Barack Obama has done. I think he clearly understands that, and more than anything else, I think he's a person who has all his life crossed barriers and boundaries. That's what I do every day in my city, and I want a president who can finally bring that value to Washington. I think we're now coming into a period of time where you look at anything from workforce development to climate change to job creation, and you really recognize cities can be not only just something that we support because it's the right thing to do, but it's a smart thing to do. So I really believe that we're coming into a new kind of president. We need a new kind because the old way of doing that has put cities on the back burner. We are where jobs are being created. Minneapolis is creating more jobs than any part of the state of Minnesota and most of the upper Midwest. That's not unusual. And so I hope we get a president who gets the fact that with a little bit of water on these beautiful prairies we call cities, they'll get amazing flowering. And I think they're about to really bring forward that. And all we need is a good leader in Washington who gets it.